Dobar den. Vozi za Skopje imali?
Zagrebu 5 i 26.
Samo Sobaj.
Da.
We're on the cusp of the fastest, deepest, most consequential transformation of transport. This is every bit as transformative as when the car replaced the horse.
By the time the pandemic and the whole crisis will be over, Wizz Air will be a more stronger and bigger airline than it was before the pandemic.
Die dritte Piste würde die Wirkungen von 3 Millionen Tonnen CO2 zusätzlich verursachen. Das ist absoluter Wahnsinn, das in Zeiten der Klimakrise noch zu machen.
За автоматизираните камиони, не знам, това ще го вкарат сигурно след 50 години. Ще стане някой ден и това ще стане, ама това ще е много, няма да съм жив, как стане.
The landscapes of Europe are crisscrossed by rails and roads that make up the arteries of our continent. Every aspect of our life, from the ordinary to the extraordinary, depends on them. To constantly increase our mobility, Europe has developed gigantic infrastructures. But today, we are faced with serious problems. Urban traffic is saturated, while whole regions are cut off, and the price of gasoline keeps rising. Transport has become the primary source of CO2 emissions in Europe. And while the carbon footprint of other sectors of our economy is slowly decreasing, in transport, it continues to rise. The COVID pandemic gave us a brief glimpse of how things would look if the world came to a standstill. Traffic came to a halt, giving us a moment of respite. It also raised the question, how do we make different means of transport accessible to all, while also making them cleaner? The expansion of the European Union was accompanied by an explosion in the amount of air traffic. In the past 2 decades, it has more than doubled. Low-cost airlines are extremely popular. They have conquered the market with their promise of cheaper and more flexible flights for all. Add to this the explosion in the number of airports. More than 50% in 30 years, and a network that continues to grow denser. Now, even small towns and remote regions are easily accessible by air. Last-minute reductions, reduced rate memberships, off-season promotions. All year round, there are more and more attractive offers.
1, 2, 3, go!
Wizz Air was established in 2003, just before the new Eastern European countries got into the European Union. So it was a very unique moment when the skies opened, these 10 new countries became member states. And between these countries and the old European Union countries, the flying was liberalized. This pandemic had an effect on Wizz Air as well. We are not immune to this whole crisis, but we added more than 300 routes to our network. Burgas here, what we celebrated today, the opening of the Burgas base and the opening of some actually 10 new routes from Burgas is a testament of how flexible we are and how forward-looking we are. There were some bumps, of course, and there were some challenges all through the way. But now Wizz Air has the biggest geographical footprint in Europe.
We should take it home, Anders.
Oh yeah, how?
No, I don't know.
Oh, the engine. We have an engine failure.
Engine failure.
This is an easy maintenance. We have the best aircraft, so it's very easy to maintain.
Burgas Airport in Bulgaria owes its success to its location on the Black Sea and the low-cost travel boom of recent years. Since the late 1970s, the so-called Sun Coast has been drawing increasing numbers of tourists, notably from Western Europe. Business boomed and people grew rich, until COVID grounded the majority of aircraft. Like everywhere in Europe, the business model came to a grinding halt.
Това е хотела на Неда, който е отдясно. Ние ще спрем хотел Хризантема, също един емблематичен хотел за Слънчев бряг последните години, който тази година най-вероятно няма да отвори.
Гледам общото време и навява така едни тъжни спомени от миналата година.
Neda Dimitrova and her friends own hotels on the coast of the Black Sea. The suspension of air traffic hit them hard.
Какво е времето? Какво е морето?
За съжаление, ние бяхме също ние бяхме една голяма част от колегите, които не отвориха сезона 2020 година. Тъй като колкото и да имаш спестявания, които да се опитваш така, нали, да ги напред във времето, да се опиташ правилно да ги калкулираш, за да ги похарчиш, си преценяш възможностите и разбираш, че няма как да успееш да го направиш и тогава наистина е, тежко е, тежко е. Не е приятно, емоционално е така, дори така, нали, наистина емоционално раздялата, нали, с хора, с които не можеш да продължиш да работиш.
Бяхме малко по-ентусиазирани, че като започна вакцинацията, едва ли не до лятото всичко ще отшуми. За съжаление, не го виждаме това нещо и в момента. Започнаха да се възстановяват тези връзки, нали, международни полети и това, но със сигурност Виена също ще бъде доста трудна за целия бранш и за хората съответно.
Радваме се за това, че доста авиокомпании се умяват и се опитват да възстановят полети или да отворят нови полети до нашето Черноморие, Бургас, Варна. По този начин, нали, те реално подпомагат хотелиерския бизнес, но то и всички останали бизнеси, които са свързани с хотелиерството, за които допреди малко говорихме. Надяваме се така да се, успокоявайки се нещата с COVID, успокоявайки се хората да могат да тръгнат да пътуват и да използват реално самолетния туризъм, който е основния, който води при нас тук туристи лятото. Просто миналата година беше като такава една мъртва зона тук. Просто беше доста...
Here's an animated plan of the flight paths across Europe on July 16th, 2017. Twice as many as in 1996. After a brief interruption due to the pandemic, the number of flights has increased again. And by 2033, the number of passengers will have doubled once more. Air traffic is responsible for 14% of the transport sector's CO2 emissions. That means that the real cost of our beach holidays is much higher than the price of just a simple plane ticket, however low cost it might be. Today, more and more young people are calling this model into question, like here in Vienna.
Fliegen ist sehr schwer zu dekarbonisieren. Die Flugindustrie versucht deshalb, ihre weiteren Wachstumspläne grün zu waschen. Kompensationen, andere sollen anderswo einsparen. Und die technologischen Hoffnungen sind viel zu weit in der Zukunft. Wir brauchen jetzt eine Reduktion und die lässt sich nur über eine Reduktion von Flugverkehr erreichen.
Mira Kapfinger is very active in the Stay Grounded movement. For years she has been fighting against the expansion of Vienna Airport.
Der Flughafen Wien hat aktuell 2 Pisten und er möchte schon sehr lange wachsen. Seit 1998 hat er diese Ausbaupläne angekündigt und seitdem gibt es auch Widerstand aus der Region. Und natürlich in den letzten Jahren ist das Klimathema immer krasser geworden. Wir sind mitten in der Klimakrise angekommen Und jetzt möchte der Flughafen eben 660 Hektar zusätzlich verbauen für dieses klimaschädliche Monsterprojekt Dritte Piste. Die dritte Piste würde die Wirkungen von 3 Millionen Tonnen CO2 zusätzlich verursachen. Das ist absoluter Wahnsinn, das in Zeiten der Klimakrise noch zu machen. Wir haben 660 Hektar der wertvollsten landwirtschaftlichen Böden Österreichs gerettet, davor für klimaschädliches Flugwachstum verbraucht zu werden. Das ist verdammt gut. Wir haben den Wachstumswahn des Flughafens eingedämmt, aber endgültig gewonnen ist der Kampf noch nicht. Es kann nicht sein, dass ein internationales Flugticket weniger besteuert ist als Lebensmittel. Das muss aufhören.
The rise in air traffic unquestionably has a negative impact on the climate and the environment. But for remote places, which rely on tourism to survive, the opening of new airports seems like a financial blessing.
Letztendlich haben die Airports und die Airlines die Funktion, die Welt zusammenzubringen. Was passiert eigentlich, wenn die Leute nicht reisen? Und wir haben die Situation jetzt gehabt und ich glaube, dass wenn wir das international machen würden und den Leuten sagen, hier Auslandsreisen sind nur erlaubt und Flugreisen, das wird alles restringiert. Ich glaube, dass es ehrlich gesagt katastrophal ist. Wir brauchen viel mehr Austausch und gerade auch Austausch mit anderen Kulturen, die vielleicht nicht gerade vor der Haustür sind. Die Herausforderung besteht darin, dass wir, sag ich mal, die Cassandra des 21. Jahrhunderts, Greta, ernst nehmen müssen. Dass wir die nächste Generation ernst nehmen müssen und dass wir mit den Airports und mit den Airlines Lösungen finden müssen, die überzeugend sind für die Generation, die uns challenged.